The Fyre Festival is one of the most controversial and infamous failed music events of our time. Thousands of people flew out to this region of the Bahamas thinking they were going to be met with celebrity guests and some of the most popular music artists, but instead they arrived to no talent, a couple of scattered tents for shelter, kiosks left unattended, and no running water, which led to panic and ultimately the arrest of the festival organizer, Billy McFarland. This is a real estate channel though, so why the heck are we talking about the Fyre Festival? Well guys, in a hilarious twist of events, a group called Agia International has purchased the land where the failed Fyre Festival happened. They plan to build 60 luxury homes here, which will be made available for sale. And you wanna know the best part? This is being called a crypto community because the private villas aren't going to be sold the traditional way through an exchange of money. Instead, they are going to be offered as NFTs. Now, I can't think of a worse time to sell a bunch of multi-million-dollar homes as NFTs, considering the crypto market is currently going through a major crisis since the exchange FTX has gone bankrupt. But the developer of this real estate in the Bahamas says that this is not a PR stunt, and the company is very serious about developing the land that was once home to the spectacularly botched Fyre Festival. We've got a lot of questions that need to be answered today about exactly how these NFT transactions are supposed to work and why this part of the Bahamas is so desirable. Let's jump into it. So this community is called Agia. They're calling it a resort-style luxury community. And the website for the property describes it as a place where an NFT unlocks Bahamas island life as it was meant to be, where every residence is ocean, beach, or harbor front. And they're calling this a place pulsing with the possibility of our decentralized future. I honestly can't believe that they think people are actually going to buy into this. We'll see. The exact location is on Great Exuma Island in the Bahamas, so the location is super desirable in the fact that it's in an absolutely beautiful landscape. Plus, it's not far from a lot of action in the Bahamas like the Sandals Resort. The plan here is to build 60 homes across the 60 acres that this developer bought. These homes will range in size from 1,000 square feet up to 6,500 square feet. Plus, the homes and the community are going to be loaded with amenities. Let's check out the sales brochure next. So they did a pretty good job with this brochure, I'm not gonna lie. This first cover image is sweet. I'm assuming this is from one of the villas. You've got all these chairs, an infinity edge pool, and then you're looking out into the ocean. They're saying that the site is construction ready today. I'm sure that this was a huge selling point to the developer because all the utilities and infrastructure is already installed. If you look closely at this picture here on the left, you can see already a bunch of roads that were built, so that's pretty legit. They're saying that it's going to be ready for occupancy, meaning these villas will be built in 2023. The island's not very far from places like Miami, Atlanta, Toronto, London. It's actually just a 50-minute flight from Miami, so not bad at all. And that airport that you fly into, I guess, is only 10 minutes away, they're saying, which is nice. And that airport is going through a $65 million renovation. Here they're telling us where a community like this is the first of its kind in the Caribbean. So this is the first time that they're building basically a huge amount of luxury homes all at once, all that have private boat slips and also all have a lot of beach frontage. Then here they're getting into the whole tax-free factor where if you become a permanent resident out here, then you are going to basically unlock a lot of tax benefits. That's something that should be attractive to people who are super wealthy. There's a ton of activities to do right within your community if you buy here, but there's also a ton of activity in the surrounding area. So you can see over here on the right is where this community is going to be built. And then there are a ton of little islands over here to the west, which just give you a bunch of things to do like diving, fishing, snorkeling, all of that. Also around the community, you really wouldn't ever have to leave if you didn't want to because they're going to have restaurants and bars and wine rooms, a library, a cinema, a cigar lounge, plus a fitness center, a spa, a wellness center, a sports facility, plus a bunch of other random activities for families. You can park your boat at this marina, which has 50 slips for super yachts. Then as far as what you can buy, you can select a pavilion, which is here on the left. These start at $1.5 million and they're 1 bedroom, 1 bath, and about 1,000 square feet. Or over here on the right, you can get one of the villa home sites, which goes from $2.8 million to $3.5 million. These are large at 1 to 2 acres, but no matter which option you pick, you're gonna get a private pool and that boat slip. Last, let's just check out exactly how this whole thing will be laid out. So the premium villa home sites are going to be here marked 1 through 13. So those are the ones with the really big lots. It looks like you actually have water frontage on either side of your lot there. And then the smaller pavilion sites are going to be over here on the bottom side. And so there's going to be a good amount of variety here depending on where you want to be on the island, how much money you have to spend, but it's all pretty tight, which means that no matter where you end up, you're probably going to be in a pretty decent walkable location. Now look, I think that this is actually a pretty cool community and concept. I mean, if I was in a different place in life, I might even consider buying one of these things myself, but the whole NFT factor is what really throws it off for me. I just can't wrap my head around why a developer would want to sell all of these units in this way. I'm sure most of you guys have heard of NFTs before. This stands for non-fungible token. And what NFTs are most commonly known as are these goofy little digital pictures that sometimes sell for millions of dollars. Tons of NFTs were sold over the past year or so, with people claiming the value is because of the rarity, the verification of ownership, and the proof of authenticity. No matter what type of fancy language you throw at it though, NFTs are just these kind of pointless little digital files in my eyes. They've always seemed just silly and worthless to me. Going back to the Agia community though, they're proposing to sell these villas as NFTs, and that's something I can sort of start to understand. I mean, now we're selling actual property that comes with actual perks for people who own the NFT, so that to me is actual value. Selling these properties as NFTs versus the traditional way comes with a couple of perks. First is that you can bypass a lot of the paperwork and mess that comes with a normal real estate transaction because everything is happening on a digital ledger called a blockchain. The second benefit is that when you buy one of these villas as an NFT, that NFT will come in the form of basically a community perk card. That card will give you access to all of the amenities that exist within this community. Then last, I'm sure there are some tax benefits here as well in buying the property as an NFT versus just buying it with regular currency, but the whole tax thing is kind of outside of my pay grade. I'm just bringing it up because I am sure it's a factor. Whether or not the fact that you're buying these villas as NFTs benefits you from a tax standpoint, the Bahamas are tax-free in general when it comes to capital gains or corporate earnings or personal income or inheritance. Nothing like this, by the way, has ever been done where real estate was exchanged on the blockchain before, so if they do pull this off, we are going to be witnessing history here. Where I think that this project really fails is, of course, partly due to just bad timing with what's going on with the crypto market, but also due to how confusing the buying process is going to be. The first step to buy is that you need to mint an NFT that represents the villa that you're going to buy. That will cost you $10,000 and it's going to give you the right to buy the villa. That first NFT will give you the approval to buy another NFT, which is one of the actual villas. This one is going to cost you between $1 million and $3.5 million, depending on which model you pick. Then to finish this whole transaction off, a third NFT needs to be minted, the Agia Key NFT, which is the deed and the title to your new house. I'm all for innovation, but I also would not want to be jumping through all of these hoops just to buy my new luxury villa. How about I just wire you the $3.5 million the old-fashioned way? Even though the purchase process on this deal is a little out there, the developer behind this community does have a strong resume. They've done the Satai in Miami and the Amanyara in Turks and Caicos, which are both 5-star oceanfront hotels. Plus, the architect is Chad Oppenheim with Oppenheim Architecture. They're responsible for a ton of really slick and modern properties. So I'm sure this one in the Bahamas will be super cool from an architectural standpoint. Reports say that the first couple of villas in this community have already been sold, of course, to founders. So that means they only have what, like 57 or 58 left to sell. Plus, another benefit to the developers and the founders is that the government out there really supports this project. So they're helping with the infrastructure because the project, after all, will support the local economy in the Bahamas, providing revenue and jobs. The group behind this deal said, "We bought this property because we saw its future, not its past." Hopefully this plot of land doesn't end up in another Netflix documentary someday. I'll see you next time.